Hi, my name is Dr. Pecoraro. I'm a chiropractor in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. And this video is called Go and Do Likewise. And this is what Jesus actually says at the end of the parable of the Good Samaritan. I want you to think about this for a minute. Before the parable even starts, this guy comes up to Jesus and says to him, what is the greatest commandment? And so Jesus says, love the Lord your God with your whole heart. And the second is just as important, love your neighbor as yourself. And the guy says to him, well, who's my neighbor? And then Jesus tells this parable of the Good Samaritan. And most of you are familiar with it. It's about a Jewish man who's on his way somewhere, and robbers beat him up and leave him for dying on the side of the road. And the Samaritan, and Jews and Samaritans hate each other, is walking by, and he takes care of him, where 3 other Jewish guys before him didn't take care of him. And at the end of the parable, Jesus says to the man, who was the fella's neighbor? And he says, well, the guy who took care of him. And then Jesus says to him, you answered right. Now go and do likewise. Go and do likewise. Now, I used to think that this parable was about who your neighbor was. In other words, the man's neighbor is the one who's nice to him. So you could easily think, well, this parable says that my neighbor is the person who's nice to me. But that's not what he's saying, because he says at the end, go and do likewise. And he can't be telling you to do likewise as the guy who's beat up and left for dead. So he has to be telling you to go and do likewise as the Good Samaritan was. And the Good Samaritan, that other didn't even know this other person, the Jewish guy. And not only did he not know him, but the Jews hated the Samaritans. So he's being extra nice to a person who probably hated him. And this is what Jesus is saying. Be extra nice to people who hate you. Be a good neighbor, not be nice to people who are your neighbors, people who are already nice to you, which takes the parable in this different light than what I usually thought. I don't know if you usually thought that or not, but think about it, and maybe it'll help you, and I'll try to bring you more information at another time. Thanks.